Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer should be a big treat. This comes from Jackie O's Pub and Brewery. These guys are up in Ohio. This is the Bourbon Barrel edition of their Oil of Aphrodite. And they make a couple different versions of this, regular and rum barrel and bourbon barrel. So Jackie O's does some outstanding beers, guys. I don't think I've ever had a bad beer from these guys that's been sent to me. I can't get those beers from those guys here. So I have to depend on my wonderful subscribers to send me these wonderful beers. Rico sent me this one, and I'm not sure it's even available to him. Let's read what his notes say. This is the 2017 edition of the Jackie O's Bourbon Barrel Oil of Aphrodite. 11.5% American Double Stout or Imperial, brewed with locally harvested black walnuts and Belgian candied syrup. English, German, American, and Belgian malts were used along with Pacific Northwest hop, aged in bourbon barrels for 8 to 12 months. Wow, that's a long time in a bourbon barrel. 65 IBUs. He said he traded for this, so he's not even available to get this, so he traded for this beer. Rico, thanks again, my brother. I do appreciate you trading and doing what you do to supply me with the wonderful beers that you send me, my brother. You're awesome. You're freaking awesome. He says, I believe this is an around $12.99 MSRP. I know it's sold at the brewery as well as in bottle shops around the Ohio area. Vintage year and ABV are on the label. So he tells me it's a 2017 edition. I haven't examined the bottle. It's got a big long description here. It does say 2017 on the side here. 12.1% alcohol, but I don't know when in 2017 this was actually done, guys. And if it's done in 2016 and they leave it in the barrels for 8 to 12 months and it's got a 2017 vintage on it, it could be 2 years from the time it was brewed to the time it goes into the bottle or to when I have it here. So should be a very tasty beer, guys. Everything that comes from Jackie O's is very tasty, and the bourbon barrel versions are extra tasty. So with that being said, we've got all the information, IBUs, ABV, and the vintage on this particular bottle. Commercial description says Oil of Aphrodite, aged in bourbon barrel. That's what Untapped has it at. So that's it. That's all we need to talk about. Final beer of the evening for me. So let's pop the top on this and see what we have. Nice hiss. Not much smoke coming out of it. Let's see. Let's go down the center on this one and see what we get. And while I pour this, I'll say the cheeses are buttery, brie, good Havarti Swiss, general chocolate, digestive. Meat is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glassware to pint, Beckernonic tumbler snifter, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite tulip glass. It says here can be sold for a long period of time. So don't think they've used any coffee in the brewing of this beer. So this, as far as I know, should sell it for a long, long time, guys. Straight down the center on that pour, no head at all, basically. Over to the light, I'm not getting any whatsoever. Pitch black. like most of the stouts are. Not all of them, but most of them are. Looks great in the glass. Let's get it to the nose. Rich roasted malt. Slight hint of some bourbon in there. Maybe some caramel, some toffee, some black molasses. Wonderful aroma, guys. It really is. I am not disappointed by the aroma on this beer. Now, the bourbon is just not off the chain or anything like that, but it's there. I can smell it. And it's probably going to come out a little bit more either in a taste or as it comes up to room temperature. Smells awesome. Let's dive in. Yeah. Let's get it on. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Thank you, my brother. Oh, wonderful taste. Rich, roasted, dark malt. Black molasses. Hints of bittersweet chocolate on the taste. Maybe even some dates or plums already. That's absolutely delicious, guys. A very well made beer. Alcohol is fairly well hidden. You know you're drinking a big beer when you smell this and when you taste it. This is not a 5, 6, 7% stout. This is a big boy's beer. Please drink this one at home, or if you're drinking it out, if you find it somewhere on tap, make sure you have a designated driver. One of these is enough if you go through a road check here in Virginia to get you a DUI. Just one beer. So please drink responsibly. Don't want to see anybody get hurt out there. Don't want to see anybody go to jail because they had some fun and drank one, maybe two of these. And if you drink two of these, you are definitely inebriated. So drink responsibly, guys. That's why you see me do all my beers here. I'm not driving anywhere. I just got to walk back there and fall down, go to sleep. So, very tasty beer, guys. Right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. Let me let her taste it and sip on this one for a little bit. And may even have to step out on the deck and fire up a stogie to go with this. And everybody asks me, what's your favorite cigar? What's your favorite beer? What's your favorite this? My favorite beer is the one I'm drinking right now. My favorite cigar is usually a Maduro wrapped cigar. Something that's got a big, rich, bold, full-bodied taste, just like the beers that I like. Like a lot of taste in my beers, or like a lot of taste in my cigars. So, let me sip on this. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Didn't hardly leave any lacing on the glass. Very tasty beer, guys. Don't know if I would consider it a world-class or outstanding beer. Usually in this style of beer, if it's been in the barrels 8 to 12 months, you're going to get a little bit heavier notes of bourbon than what I'm getting on this one. But I do think it's a very tasty beer. These guys do some really nice stuff up there at Jackie O's Brewery. Now that it's warmed up a little bit, I am getting a little bit of coconut, some woodiness from the oak barrels. There is a nice bourbon note to it, but it's not off the chain bourbon like I would like to see if it's been in a barrel that long. But still a very delicious beer. Very well made beer. Alcohol, I mean, it's 12.1%. A lot of times it's hard to hide that much alcohol. They did a very nice job of it. And now that it's warmed up a little bit, I am getting some nice bourbon notes on the beer. So, very well done. Let's do the final chug. Very delicious, guys. Very well done beer. Me personally, I would like to see a little bit more bourbon notes that has been in the barrel that long. But that's probably where they were going on this beer. They didn't want the bourbon to be overpowering everything else. So very well done, guys. If you say, oh my God, this is a 10 beer, you're crazy, I wouldn't argue with that. I'm not going to give it a 10, but it is kicking on the door real hard. I'm going to give it a 98. A beer kicking the door down on being a 10 beer. And like I said, if you say, oh my God, that's a 10 beer, I've had a little bit better bourbon barrel beer than this, but I do think this is a very well made beer. So that's where I'm going to put it. 98 for me, guys. Over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 4.29. That's in their A-. I do think it's better than an A- beer. And I could just as easily gave this a 10 beer, but I've had a little bit better beer than it. But you got to realize what it costs. I mean, this is, I think Rico said like it's a $13 bottle of beer, as opposed to some of these bourbon barrel ages are $30, $35 for them. And you'll see wax on them and corked and caged and all kind of different things to make the beer cost a little bit more. But like I said, I wouldn't argue. If you say, oh my God, this is a 10 beer, I wouldn't argue with that. It's pretty damn tasty. It's so close to a 10 beer, I wouldn't argue with it. So over to Untappd for our final check-in. They say 4.32. That's definitely in their A category. That's where I'm putting it. Very tasty beer, a very well done beer. So you guys up in Ohio, where Jackie O's is at, don't know how far the distribution is on their beers, but if you see this and you're into a bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout, you ought to pick it up. It's pretty tasty. For what it costs, it's well worth it. And I'm not saying you should go out and buy a case of this and drink one after the other every day. It's a nice special occasion beer. It really is. So I enjoyed it. So Rico, thanks again, my brother. I do appreciate you sending me all the wonderful beers that you do. This was a great final beer of the evening, like I said, for me, guys, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So if you've had this one from Jackie O's, this is the Bourbon Barrel Oil of Aphrodite. Let me know what you think, guys. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.